You can bend over and have Fox jam it in your colon without lube like I chose a few years ago, or you could make off like a bandit. Trust me on this, choose the latter. Hey folks, we're back again with another video, and today we're going to be working on a Fox transfer dropper post. So this is a 2019, but this video is good for 2018, 19, and 2020. It will also work for 2017, but there are a couple of seal differences in the 2017. The rest of the service will be, well, basically the same. We're going to be doing a full service on this post, and the big thing with this video is that we are going to do it on the cheap, or at least as low cost as possible. This generation of Fox transfer was a solid post, but it was always a stupid post to service at home because the tools needed to service it were stupid expensive. The tools Fox sells to service this post are well over 800 bucks combined, and it turns out most of those tools were never even needed. And that's what we're going to go over in this video. So with that being said, let's get into the tools and parts needed for the job. As always, the most important tool on this table, right there, safety glasses. We're dealing with oils, we're dealing with pressures. Wear your safety glasses. Now, the Fox transfer was always a notoriously expensive post to service, and it didn't make sense to service it on your own because you needed to spend a lot of money, the better part of 800 bucks on tools to get it done. I'm going to put that myth to bed in this video. For starters, you are going to need a vise to make your life a lot easier with an 8mm soft jaw and preferably a 1 to 1/8 inch hole soft jaw. Get the plastic ones. Again, we're not dealing with any high pressures over here. Plastic ones will do just fine. First, we need to remove the cap from the bottom. Technically, it's 10mm wrench that would be needed, or adjustable wrench, Nipex, channel lock, anything that allows you to move it out. But if you want to torque it down later, technically I don't think you have to, 10mm crowfoot will come in handy. Then we want to separate the post. Now, the bushing is jammed inside that post. Fox made this tool in order to separate it. This is like a $430 tool. About 4 years ago, I bought it for a reasonable price, less than 430 bucks. And after the first use, I was like, shit, I did not need to spend a penny on this tool. In this video, I'm going to show you an alternative solution to this tool that's going to save you at least 400 bucks. So when you see that part, a like would be super appreciated. Now, we're going to go to the bottom cap of the post at that point. We're going to depressurize it. We're going to need a 1.5mm Allen to depressurize it. And then we're going to remove the cap. You're going to need a M3 bolt. Go to your local hardware store. You can get these for, I don't know, maybe 20 cents, 30 cents. It doesn't have to be all that long. 2 inches would be good enough in order to help you remove the cap. Then we're going to invert the post. We're going to unscrew the top cap. You're going to need a 4mm Allen to unscrew the top cap. Then a spanner tool will come in super handy. These are cheap. Come in super handy in order to hold the cap so you could unscrew the screw that's in it. And then to remove the cap, Fox makes another expensive tool. This is nothing more than an M6 bolt. Go to your local hardware store, buy an M6 bolt, probably cost you 50 cents as opposed to, I don't even remember what this thing was, to be honest. So now we're going to take out the internal piston. We're going to open up the internal piston. Actually, to separate the internal piston, we're going to need a 7mm wrench or channel lock, Nipex, adjustable wrench. You don't need to go crazy. And then to open up the cap inside so we could take out the internal piston, there's like technically 2 parts to the piston. We're going to need an 8mm socket in order to open it up, right? So then when we put that new internal piston into the outer piston, Fox sells another very expensive tool. This is a piston band sizing tool. It just compresses the glide rings onto the actual piston itself. It's about 80 bucks. You don't technically need this, guys. It makes life easier, no questions asked. But if you're careful, just like with a shock piston, you could put it in on your own. Just take your time and roll it in there. We'll go over that later. Now, we finished up the piston. We're going to assemble everything. We're going to want to take the piston and put it through the IFP. They technically sell a bullet tool in order to make it easier to slip the piston shaft through the IFP. You don't need it. We'll talk about that later. What you will need, absolutely will need, is a IFP depth tool. Now, don't buy Foxes. Go online. People make these for real cheap, for very good prices, in my opinion, right? Or just print your own if you can. Ultimately, it's going to save you a huge amount of money as opposed to buying Fox's tools. I think they sell theirs for like 40 bucks each or something. Now, what you should buy is this actuator tool. This helps you actuate the post in order to be able to effectively do the bleed process. Then we're going to need to fill up the post with air. This was the original Fox tool air fill or air fill tool. This was the dumbest design I've ever seen of anything. This thing is absolutely useless. I hated it. And thank God they came up with another one. This was expensive too, not cheap. So they came up with another one, which is way more cost effective. We don't have a choice, guys. There's no other way to fill up Fox transfers without these tools. It's a dumb solution, dumb design, but it is what it is. This one over here, part number 803-01931, way cheaper and way better than this tool over here. So now we filled it up, greased the post, put everything back together. We have to sink in the bushing and the wiper. Technically, Fox makes another tool for that. Not all, I mean, still expensive tool, really. Not needed. All this does is press in the bushing and press in the wiper. You could do the same thing using either a flat jaw or preferably a larger hold soft jaw in order to be able to just push the bushing into the lower part of the post. We're gonna, what you are gonna need when we empty out the oil is an oil pan. You're gonna need a shock pump to fill it up. What will come in handy, not technically needed, but will come in handy if you have a plier that has these small holes like this Park Tools ones does. Yeah, that'll come in handy to actually lock down the piston bolt on top to torque it all back down. Torque wrench might come in handy if you want to do that. Paper towel, alcohol, and that's pretty much it, folks. Oh, and picks. Picks will definitely come in handy. On to the parts and oils needed for the job. As for parts and oils, again, this is a 2019 post, so we're going to need a seal kit for 2019 or 2018 to 2020 seal kit, part number 803-01-255. If you have a 2017, even though the rebuild is basically the same, it's going to be a different part number. There are minor differences in the kit. Oil, Fox 1.5 weight performance suspension fluid for the IFP chamber. And we're going to need SRAM butter, slick oleum, slick honey, whatever your preference is for the outside before we close it all up. All right, let's open up the post. Before we open up the post, make sure that it's completely clean. Make sure there's no dirt, sand, anything trapped around this spring. And when you take off the seat mount, make sure it's all clean on the inside, so on and so forth, and the actuator at the bottom, right? So first thing we need to do is remove this cap. Now, this is easy to take out. A 10mm wrench would do it. The only thing you need to be careful of if you use, let's say, a plier, a channel lock, a nip X or anything, is just this pin. Make sure you don't scratch this pin. This is very crap metal, so be very careful with it. Basically go on a solid part near the bottom and just unscrew the whole thing out. All right, take it. And we're going to put this on the side. On the inside, we have... Now we can push it down. You can extend it out now. We have a C-clip on the inside. We're going to take a blunt pick, go inside it, underneath it, and just try and pop it out. There we go. Next, we're going to take the post. We are going to extend it out carefully. Expose this cap. Now, there is a ball on this cap. That is your guide for putting it, lining the actuator with the back, okay? So what we want to do is grab a pick and basically go underneath the ball and scratch a mark in the metal, okay? Because that ball can come out, and basically you won't know where to put it. Did it come out? No, it's still in there. Sometimes it doesn't come out that easy. Let's try a magnet. There we go. Leave it there for now on the magnet. Now, you want to take off this cap. There's two flat sides on it, 10mm, right? We're going to put this in an 8mm soft jaw. Let's clean this shaft. All grease already cleaned. Make sure this is clean of grease as well. Let's put this guy in here. Tie down, don't over tighten him. Find a flat spot. And there we go. Okay. Bumper, we're going to take care of all this stuff later on. as far as changing seals and everything. Next, we need to separate the bushing and the wiper from the actual post. Now, this is what makes this post just ridiculous when it comes to servicing it. Fox sells a tool to remove that for over 400 bucks, okay? The way it works is you put this guy in here, screw him down all the way to the end, push him out all the way to the end like that, screw this guy all the way until he's tight, and then you put the C-clip back in and you separate him and he will push him out. Now, I'll tell you why this is completely stupid, and I mean completely stupid. You could buy these on their own, okay? I'll put the part number down below. Now, we take the post, we put it in your bike stand, put it in a soft jaw that has your diameter of your C-tube, right? This is a 30.9. Okay, let me just put it in here quick. Hopefully you guys can see that well. All right. Again, you could buy this on its own. 3/4 inch PVC with an end cap. Altogether, I don't know, $5. This 20 bucks. Put this in all the way to the end. Grab a mallet or a hammer. Give it a couple of little taps. Boom. You are welcome. I just saved you 400 bucks and ultimately allow you to cost effectively do this job, because this tool is just ignorant. It's stupid. Let's go on to the next part. Now we remove our pins. So one of them fell out. We're going to put them on the side. Grab a plastic pick or a dull pick if you have one. Move the other one. Let's get the other one. Man, this thing's like so dry inside. It's ridiculous. Look at this. I mean, there's like no grease in here. Okay. So then we have our bushings, right? This is our lower bushing. We're going to take it out for now. All right. We're just going to put everything in order on the side. It's going to get, oh, it's on the floor now. This is the upper bushing, and this is our wiper. Let me get the one. Oh, who knows where it bounced. Oh, there it is. Okay. Now we want to depressurize it. And if you look underneath, there are two screws and one hole, basically. That's a fake hole. That's a blank hole, right? Nothing's there. The screw next to that hole is where we inflate. The screw by itself on the other side, that's where we depressurize. So we're going to grab a 1.5 millimeter Allen. Make sure you got good purchase on it, right? And open it up. And you'll hear, yep, there it is. You'll hear air coming out. And it's not going to be like a whoosh. It's just going to be a little, and that's it. Okay. Now, underneath this is a, take out the screw completely. All right. There we go. More air came out. Now, underneath that screw is a, it's going to come out. Oh, man. A ball. There it is. Do not lose this ball. And don't mix it up with that ball over there. Leave it on the side. That's one of them. Now let's take out the other one. This again is to add air. Okay, take him out. Same screw, M3 screw. Put him on the side. These are the same. And again, there's a ball under here. And he's still in there. Oh boy. Need to get that ball out before we lose him later. Oh boy, he's really in there. There he is. All right. So technically, now that we remove the screws and depressurize the system, we could start removing this bottom seal head over here, but we're not, because we don't know if there's pressure on the upper part of the system. Okay, so what we're going to do is open up the upper part of the system first. Clean your stanchions, clean the tube. You're going to need a 1 or 1 1/8 hole, right? Make sure it's really soft. This is just, we're not putting pressure on it. We're just literally holding it in place, right? This doesn't need a lot of pressure. So, but make sure it's a soft thing so you don't damage your Kashima coating. Now, in here is a protective pellet. I hate those pellets. And we got to remove it. Grab a pick. See if you could go underneath it with a pick and move it out of there. Pick's too thick, I bet. Okay. If not, we do what we do with our DPSs, and we grab a drill, drill a small hole in it. Okay, and then we grab our pick, and we should be able to just lift them up. Oops, just scratched it. There we go. Dumbass ideas. Now we have a 4mm screw in there. We're going to need our spanning tool, right? Cost-effective tool. We're going to put it in the holes. This one too big? Oh, I need the smaller one. I grabbed the wrong one. Oh. Wow, why is he not fitting in? Let me twist. There we go. Now what we're going to do, there we go, crack them open. Could you see that? Yeah. Now, see, air just came out, right? So hold them down. There is this, actually not this one, the other one has a spring. What am I talking about? Just don't let them loose. Let the air come, let the pressure, there was a little bit of pressure in there. You could hear it. Let it come out. Then we're going to take the screw, we're going to put it on the side. And we also have an O-ring that we're going to take out. And we're going to put them on the side with the screw. Now, grab any M6 bolt. You can buy them at a hardware store for cheap. An M6, put it in there. What we're going to do is, oh, wait a second. Push it down. We have a C-clip in here. Totally forgot about that. Jeez, losing my mind. So we have a C-clip in here, right on the side, if you can see it. Use something blunt. Basically, try and get onto the side of the edge and pop. No, side of the edge. Again, make sure you use a blunt tool. It's going to be a little bit stiff. There we go. Don't go under. There we go. And there's our C-clip. Now, grab an M6 again, and we pick them up. Okay. Seal over there. Let's make sure we put everything in order. We don't need him. Put that tool on the side. Grab our damper. Take him out. Now we empty the oil out. You think that's been used? Holy cow. Man, that's supposed to be like clear white. Wow. Now, as always, guys, when it comes to oils, please dispose of them properly. Don't put them down a drain. Don't put them in a sewer. Don't throw them outside. Don't put them in a garbage. Don't put them down the toilet. Put them in a bottle that clearly states danger, don't drink, and bring it to a bike shop, bring it to an auto shop, bring it somewhere where they could dispose of it for you, all right? Now we have the option to take out the internal piston, right? What we're going to do is we're going to press it all the way down until it pops up. See if we can stick it down even more with a dowel if you have one small enough, just like I do. Shit, I forgot there's more oil at the bottom. Damn. Oh well. Yep. So there goes that one. Next, we want to take off this cap. First, let's just put paper towel over here so oil doesn't drip out while we're upside down. Now, what we need to do is push down the cap a little bit and you will expose a C-clip. Okay. Grab your thumb to the edge of that C-clip and try and roll him out. If you can't do it with your thumb, you could use a pick, but you should be able to do it with your thumb. There we go. Roll him out. That's number one. Now, grab that M3 screw, put it in one of the holes, screw it all the way in. Now we just wiggle it back and forth till the whole thing comes out. Just wiggle it back and forth just like that. Don't be stubborn. You're nearly there. There we go. Put him on the side. Now inside we have another C-clip. Grab your thumb again, go underneath him, spin him sideways, and pull him out. Then we have the IFP. For the IFP, take out this towel, grab a wooden dowel, hit the IFP. It's going to be a little bit stubborn. It usually always is. Oh, it's coming out. They have a better tool for this, but it ain't worth the money. It's like a 20-cent dowel. And it'll do the job just fine. There. That is our IFP. Next, we're going to open up the piston, okay? We need a 8mm socket. Now, when opening this, make sure it's tightly secured to an 8mm hole on a soft jaw. There is a spring underneath. So as you're unscrewing it, push pressure down. Do not let this thing let go on you because it will pop up. You'll feel the pressure and done. Okay, put this guy down. We have our screw. Put everything in order here. We have our spring. We have this, well, it's sort of like a seal, like a crush washer, really. Now inside we have a ball. We do not want to lose that ball. Let's put it inside there for now. Okay. Now we will separate the head from, actually I should be able to just push this through, right? Yeah. So let's push this guy through. We have something small enough. Yeah. Right here. There we go. Okay. And that is literally everything. So as you noticed, I opened up the entire seal kit here, right? So for starters, we have a new internal piston and a new head on top. So we're going to be replacing both. First, we're going to replace this seal head. Now, we need a 7mm wrench, and then we need something to grab onto this rod. Ideally, if you have a plier that has those little holes like this Park Tool plier, find one of the holes that makes the most sense. Don't put too much pressure on them, right? Put them close to the head. This shouldn't require a lot. It's only like a Newton meter. There we go. Okay, then we unscrew him. Put him on the side for now. He's going to get completely replaced. But first we have this seal. And, well, you know me. I love my little seals. Yes, that was sarcasm. Okay, let's put him down and see if I can get him underneath. Oh. Okay. Let's see if I can. Link frame. No, I'm not. Now I can't see. I'm totally blind. Come on. Yeah. That's one side. Come on. Give me the other side. Give me the other side. So give me the other side. There we go. Oh, don't pop back in. No. All right, pop back in. Be careful. Don't bend this rod. This isn't exactly a strong rod. It's actually very weak. So, part of me just wants to break the seal. Come on, man. There we go. There we go. Now I got him. Yes. Yay. Okay, let's bring them on top of those threads. So let's bring them on top of those threads. Boy, man, he's hooked on those threads real good. Holy cow. I stabbed myself 10,000 times. Okay, finally. Jeez, man. We're going to need him in a sec, actually. Hopefully we won't need him. Put him aside. So looking at the seal kit over here, that's obviously this guy here. So we're going to take him and let's prep our seal grease. Let's take a little bit of grease. Put him on the seal. I'm going to plop him back in. I wonder if he's easier going in this way. That's a good question. Boy, this guy really is small inside. Come on. Again, watch out for your rod. Don't put too much stress on it. Bring him all the way down. Bring him over to hump. And done. Whew, we managed it. Now let's clean our threads. If we look over here, we have a brand new head. We're going to screw this guy on. Once again, grab him with a plier that has a hole in it if you have one, or a Nip-X. Just be very careful if you're using anything flat. And we don't need a lot. It's only like literally 1 Newton meter, 1 or 2 Newton meters. So just a little turn and that's it. He's just going up and down. Okay, this guy's done for now. This guy we could put on the side. To separate this head from this rod, there is no flats on this thing, right? So we're going to need something that has some kind of grip, like a nip X or a plier or something. What we need to do is clamp him into the 8 millimeter. Then we're going to grab him from here and twist him off, all right? I already cleaned. Oh yeah, watch out this guy over here. Let's remove him. We're going to replace him anyway. So clamp him down, give him some room. Give him about, I don't know, ½ inch, right? And then grab anything. We're replacing the whole thing, so don't worry about marring it. There we go. And done. Now we're going to replace these parts, right? So first let's grab this little black collar. We're going to put him first underneath the threads, just like that. And then we're going to grab this guy here, and we're going to screw him down just by hand. We are not torquing him down yet. Just screw him down all the way, as much as you can by hand. Now, we need to put this piston back in. Two options over here. One, you could try and do it on your own, right? Now, the thing is, it might get a little bit stiff. So what you do is you put a little bit of grease on it to try and help you out. Just a thin coat. Don't go too crazy with it, all right? And you try and put it in. Again, it might be a little bit stiff. You're going to have to roll it and roll it and roll it. Now, what Fox has is a special tool, okay? And the job of this tool, well, I got it the wrong way actually, is it's a band sizer basically. It's going to squeeze those Teflon rings or glide rings onto the shaft to make it a little bit easier, right? So I put it in there. I don't know if you can see it. And then I just tuck it down all the way and a little bit more and done. And now it's in. All right. So again, you could try and do it without this tool. It's a very expensive tool. It's a literally very expensive tool. I want to say $100, but you can do it without the tool. You just have to take your time and don't over push it in. Don't stretch it in there or force it in there too much. What you need to do is sort of squish the edges and push it in. All right. So now let's finish this up since we're here. We put in our ball. Pink. Right. Now we had this, this sort of like a crush washer. So we have one over here. That's this guy. And if you notice, there is a step. That inside step or a bevel goes down. The flat part stays up. All right. Then put our spring in. Now what we're going to try and do is screw him in. There's going to be force on your nut. Screw him in by hand first. This might take a few seconds because there is some force on that spring basically, right? So get a good grip on him. In fact, you know what? Better off doing it with the socket since we got it, right? Get more leverage. So by hand first, make sure you screw in and you're not cross threading. There we go. Make sure this ring is in the middle. Okay. And then grab our torque wrench and we're going to torque the whole thing down one shot, inside and outside. 4.5 Newton meters. Take your time, try and be precise. Don't over torque this one. Don't under torque them either. Again, it's torquing everything. 4.5, 0.58. And it's done. Now we want to check that the assembly works. Just put them on a table and it should go up and down. Right? If you look inside, you should be able to even see it go up and down on the inside of those holes. Ooh, man, that's sharp. All right, so we are good. We're going to put them on the side for now and work on our IFP. First thing we're going to do, let's clean out this shaft. Spray it down with alcohol. Inside, lint-free cloth. Put them in there. Squeeze them in. Straight down there. Boy, that's tight. Holy cow. Grab it out. And push them through. There's one more C-clip on the inside, but don't touch him. Just leave him where he's at, okay? Clean the outside. Now this post is not in the best of conditions. There is a scratch through the sheet of coating, actually a couple of dots here and there, but it is what it is. Still works. He's not complaining. Put this guy on the side. Now we have our IFP. We have a quad ring on our IFP outside and one on the inside. So be careful over here. Let's take the outside one out first. Okay. Come on, man. Oh, am I even in frame? Yes. Then we have the one on the inside. Let's take him out. Stab him and come on. There we go. Okay, now let's clean our IFP. Make sure he's got no what's the word I'm looking for? That thick film. Oh well. All right. Let's clean. Let's take all off. Let's clean the seat, man. What's all that black stuff? Okay. Boy. All right. Now, quad ring here and a quad ring there. New ones, old ones go on the side before we mix them up. Take a little bit of grease. Let's do the inside one first. Actually, since this is the inside one, where is my flat spatula? Take some grease. Fill up the inside seat. Squish this guy. Put him in. Sit him on one side. He's going to want to come out the other one. Make sure he's seated on one side. And see what, there he goes. And now we're going to push him in the other side, the back side. Nearly there. And boom. Now we make sure he is not twisted, and he is not. Take a little bit of grease. Let's put in our outside quad ring. Make sure he doesn't twist. Double check him, and I'm telling you right now, he has a twist, and that's why we double check him. These guys are really easy to twist, and twisting is no good. It's twisted now. Nope, he is good. And we have this guy over here. He's got 3 seals. Now, these look like the same, but they're not. This top one where the holes are, is bigger than the one underneath it. He's sort of like angled. Then we have the one on the inside, right? So, let's grab the one on the inside. Just regular O-ring. Put them down. Let's put them in order so we know sizes. We don't mess up. Come on. I don't know. This guy, and now the top one. Okay, like I said, they're just a little bit different in size. Let's clean him on the inside. So you should have a bushing on the inside. Okay. Let's make sure that bushing is clean and doesn't have any significant scratches. He's good. A little worn. Now, let's change that guy. That's got to be one of these guys. Can't tell. I think these are both the same, actually. Yeah, it's definitely this guy here. Okay, actually, he's on the inside. Take some grease, put it on a spatula, put him on the inside seat. Fill it up. Okay. More than enough grease on my hands for O-ring. Put them in, sink them on one side. and then pick them up. Watch the bushing, don't scratch it. Oop, nearly there. Just this little part here. There we go. See it? Yep. So now we have the smaller one, which is this one right there. Right? Yep. With the old and with the new. Smaller one goes on the bottom. Now we have the bigger one, which should be the guy right next to him. Yep. Bigger one goes on top. We have a seal over here for our top bolt. Is that a bug? And that's everything. Now let's put together the upper tube. We're going to take our IFP. This cone side over here, or this part over here, stays out, right? So we're going to put it in from the bottom side. Flat side goes in first. Make sure it goes in evenly. Push it all the way down to the end. Then we're going to grab one of our clips. Okay? This is the second groove. We're going to put this guy in here. Make sure you don't overshoot him. And what you're going to do is be absolutely sure that he is sitting correctly in his seat. Okay? Try and move him. We need to be 1,000,000% sure on this one. Okay? Now, we put this guy, the inner piston, in. Here's your issue. You could do it, right? In fact, I will do it just to show you guys. But ultimately, to be safe, right? You find a middle hole. You push them down. But if you want to be safe about it, right, there you go. They do make a bullet tool, but like you saw, it's round enough at the edges where chances are it won't do any damage. Next, what we're going to do is test to make sure that the C-clip is in there well. That's very important. We're going to take our actuator tool. Okay, this is important. Go buy this. It's not expensive and it's worth every single penny for it if you own this post. What this is going to do is actuate the post. Okay, again, we're all the way down. Now, let's clean it. Not that it's really all that important here. You could do this by hand. You technically don't need to use a vise for this, but we are going to use a vise. So we're going to put this into that 1-inch hole again, right? Give yourself some room on the bottom to extend the shaft. Now we're going to take our oil and let's fill it 3/4 of the way. Don't fill it the whole way. Yeah, right about there. And what we are going to do is cycle. Basically, what we are doing is taking all the air out. See how it's falling down more and more and more? All the air out from underneath the piston. Now let's put more oil in it. This is the way I bleed it. This isn't the way Fox bleeds it. I like being able to see what I'm doing as far as how much air really is under there, right? So just cycle it up and down. See all those little bubbles? Let them dissipate. So all sorts of little bubbles that are generating. See when you go up there, they're all in between. Just let them all dissipate. Like I said, if you do it blind, you don't know what's going on. This way you can see what's going on. And you know. There you go. See what I mean? See all those little dots? Those are all little air bubbles. You need to let them all dissipate. But right now, underneath the actual piston, actually I could hear air under there. Okay. Let it settle. All right, I let it sit for about 30 seconds. And if you look inside now, when I bring that head up, it's all clear. There's no more of those little bubbles, right? So they've all dissipated. We have no bubbles underneath and it sounds clean. I don't hear any hissing. And one thing I forgot to mention, always close your oil. Don't be a bonehead like me. So next we set the IFP. To set the IFP, make sure that you have the right IFP for your dropper. This chart will give you an idea as far as sizes. This is a 125. I need a 1.99 for a 125. Now, we make sure that we're fully extended out, right? Let's bring it up a bit. Let's drop it straight down. Okay, we're all the way at the end. We're going to take our tool. I'm going to pick them up, hold the bottom down, and pick the IFP up. And that's it. To finish it up, let's prep everything, all right? So we have our top cap. We have our C-clip for the top cap. Don't mix it up with that one. That's the bottom cap. We have our screw and the washer, all right? We have our 4mm, and we have our spanning tool, and you have your M6 bolt. You don't need this tool, just get a regular M6 bolt, okay? So what we're gonna do, as you notice, the oil level came up when we set the IFP. That's a good thing, came up quite a bit actually. So we're gonna bring it right to the top. Okay, now there's two ways we could do this. One, what you're gonna wanna do is, for starters, put some paper towel around here because oil will want to spill. All right, there we go. Okay, now we want to put on our top cap, but we don't want to take air with it, right? So the best way you could do that is try and do it on an angle. Put it in on an angle like that. Let oil come through the bleed hole. Create sort of like a reservoir. In fact, what you can do to make life even a little bit easier, literally create like a reservoir with your hands, with your fingers like that. See, that's much higher. Now we have greater chances of not taking air with us, right? So we're going to sink them in on an edge, right? We're going to let oil come through the bleed hole. Now the only thing is, oil is going to want to squirt up, and we're going to sink them in on an angle. All right, just like that. And I guarantee you that we took minimal, if any, oil in. Now we're going to sink them just below the C-clip seat. All right, are we there yet? Nope. So sink them down just a little bit at a time. Take your time, don't oversink them. There we go. Could you see the seat? Yep, now I can see that seat. All right, now we're going to take our C-clip and sink him. Oh, great. Took some rubber glove. Awesome. There we go. At least I managed to get it out. Now we're going to sink our C-clip in. There we go. He's sunk in. Now we're going to take our 6mm, bolt him in, pull him up. Make sure you do this step. Make sure you pull him up. Okay. Now what we're going to do, we're going to take this out. All right. We're going to put a little bit more oil above. Well, obviously, it sunk, something went wrong. Okay, and what we're going to do, actually, technically, that's normal. So there's always going to be a little bit of air, but we want to minimize the amount of air. And what we're going to do is we're just going to move them sideways and tap them to make sure that any air that we might have taken out, like I said, create a funnel with your fingers. That is looking good. I don't see anything. Okay, now take our washer, our seal, put him in, take our screw, put him in, screw him down. Fortunately, he's going to spin. Don't let him fully spin. Now we're going to put him back in. Okay. Nearly there, guys. Actually, clean this guy here so he doesn't spin on you. Again, make sure not to hit the bottom shaft. We don't want it to come up at all at this point. Put him down so you can see a little bit clearer. Okay. And what we're going to do now, take our spanning tool. Maybe it's easier for me to do it this way. There you go. And we're going to just tighten them. Fist tight. Obviously, I need to get him more into the open spot. Yeah, I don't know why I'm having issues with the spanning tool. Maybe it is the wrong one. Come on, spin him out. There you go. Now I should be able to get him easy. Yeah, there we go. and we tighten them. There we go. Give it a nice little fist tight. And this part is done. We can spill the rest in here if we want. Done. Now, to finish up the bottom, we're going to put just a little bit of either 20 weight oil or Fox fluid, the blue stuff, right? Either or, just a few drops, not all that much. Okay, let's make sure you put them on the sidewall. Actually, get in there. There we go. All right, then the holes go on top. Oh, I got to take off the, hold up the shaft, push the shaft upwards. All right, take off our actuator knob. Now this guy will slip in. Be careful, don't push down the shaft. There we go, just push them past the seals. Okay, now we're going to sink them in until we get them past the seat. Use the fake hole to push them down if you have to. There we go. Shaft didn't go down. Oop, nearly there. A little bit more. There we go. Now we expose the seat. Let's take the seat clip. Put him in one side. Put him in the other side. Make sure he's sitting right. Okay, then we're going to grab our M3 screw. Screw them in. And pick them up, just like we did the other cap. Now we are fully seated. Our chamber is maxed. Okay, let's prep one of our screws, the little 1.5 millimeter ones. We're just going to put a little touch of Loctite blue on them. That's too much. Okay, now we're going to grab one of our balls, the single port at the bottom, not the dual port above. We're going to drop the ball in him, make sure he goes inside. Oh, great, now he's all magnetized. Beautiful. Awesome. Just what I need. It's going to be like that crazy game when we were kids. Okay, let's try a plastic one. There we go. Right? Now we're going to take our screw, we're going to put them in. Careful. Okay, now he's going to want to turn when you try and tighten him. Grab your pick, hold it down. Oh, wrong way actually. Let's do it this way. My hands are slippery is the issue. Hold it down just like that and turn him. Don't over tighten him, just give him a good turn and he's done. Now let's fill them up with air. Unfortunately, Fox can't think of a decent way to fill up their transfer posts, at least these years, even the 21s, 22s. Originally, they had this tool, which was a complete pile of crap. I hate this friggin' tool. Honestly, I hate using it. It's a major pain in the butt. It sucks. But then they came out with this one, which makes a lot more sense, and it's also a lot less. This, you have no choice. You need one of these two tools to fill them up. This is about $100. This one's about $40. Get it on a discount for 20% off if you can, right? So forget that thing ever existed. I might not even try and sell it. I might just break it. So what you do with this one is you line up the two holes. This solid piece goes into the blank hole over there, right? Make sure it fits in. There we go. So now, well, we got to make sure, right? So yes. Then we have a 2 millimeter Allen bolt, and we need to tighten this thing down. Okay, right to the end. All right. Then we plug in our shock pump. It's so much more solid than the other one. The other one, like I said, is just totally ridiculous. The other one was a really dumb idea. I'm sorry, guys. I know you guys are geniuses over there, but that was a dumb idea. Then we fill it up. This chart tells you how much you have to fill it up to based off your post size. This is a 125. I go to 275 PSI. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to use the table as leverage. Keep an eye on him. Okay. All right, 245. 67, 63, 74, ooh, 74, 73, and come on, come on. Give me. Oops, 79. Let's see if it'll come down. Nope, I'm going to have to help it down. Yep. Now I went too loud. It's amazing once you get to those levels. All right, 274. Good enough. Okay, and then I take him out. He's a regular standard Schrader. All right. That came from the pump side. Now, good thing I didn't lose the screws. So now I take out the tool. Ta-da! Just like with our other screw, we're going to put just a dab of Loctite on this guy. That's perfect amount. Just a little bit. Okay, take this ball, drop them in the hole. Again, it's not the dead hole, right? So that one, oh wow, went right in, cool. Take the screw, be careful with them, don't strip them going in there. Once again, he's going to want to spin. Although now we got pressure in there. Oh yeah, he won't spin. Cool. Perfect. Sort of. Now we test them. Test them, we're going to take our actuator tool, screw them in all the way down. Okay. And he should, oh yeah. Up and down the whole way. There we go. Cool. Now what we can do also is test them without it. Make sure there's no sag. Nope. Nothing. I mean, I don't want to do it this way because, whoop. Yep, I do have, oh no, I'm not. That's not sag. That's the actuator. I'm just actuating the actuator. That's what I thought. So no sag whatsoever, guys. She is perfectly bled. Outstanding. Let's finish her up. First thing we're going to do, let's clean the inside of this post. Or the housing, I should say. All right. Grab a paper towel. Let's clean the thick grease off the top over here first. Before we put the towel inside. Okay. Now what we are going to do, grab one of these guys. Bump them up. Make sure there's a lot of like corners, right? Put them in real tight. Not loose at all, as tight as you can, but with lots of corners. We want to get into the guides. Oh boy, it was too tight. Oh, wow. Jeez. Well, I went overboard. Come on. For real. Holy cow. I don't think that's ever happened before. No way. There we go. All right. Now I take him, force him through. That is pretty good. That is really good. Let's do it one more time. Turn him inside out. I'm sure I could use him again. Yep. Again. Make sure he's tight. Okay. There we go. Make sure you do that little ledge there and the one above as clean as you can. Make sure you do the seat underneath here where the C-ring sits. Okay. Now, as you can see, they give us a whole bunch of replacement parts. All right. Now, here's one difference between the 2017 and the 18, 19, 20. 17 doesn't have this. So let's get under here. It's not a seal. It's actually a spring. Okay. Put some. Actually, might as well just fill this guy up with grease. Let's put him on. He is in. What do we got left? Okay.
we have this guy here. Let's get rid of this guy. Or bumper. Let's make sure he's clean. Oh, iron frame. Holy cow. Okay, now we don't have to, but since we have some OCD, we are going to align those holes. We're literally putting a square peg in a not so round hole. I mean a round, sort of round hole in a not so square peg. Come on. Oh, come on, why you give me a hard time? And just flop over there. Jesus. Okay, that's not what I want. Oh, there we go. Holes are aligned. Not that it really matters. Okay, we got that guy. Get a C-clip, make sure he's clean. We got our pins. I don't have replacement pins, but they look okay. If the lines wear out or you see like serious wear marks on them, you got to replace them. Looks okay. Yeah, it looks okay. All right, let's assemble it. Okay, first thing we're gonna do is take out this ring. Let's put it in the post. This is our wiper. Grab a good amount of grease, put them on the inside in there, all right? So underneath. Just like that. Don't be afraid to put a good amount. Okay, now we're going to take our wiper. We're going to put them in. The reason we took off my frame, the reason we took off the spring is to make it a little bit easier for him to go in. The spring, that would be even harder. All right, okay. Now, take this bushing, the teeth go upwards. Nice and tight. Way tighter than the old one. Now, take this bushing, put him in. Okay, it's gonna be a bit of a pain. Fill up the seats with pins, with grease, pin seats. Now, 2 pins are close to each other. 1 pin is on its own. That is the back of the post, okay? So this is the back of the post with this single pin on its own. Just an FYI on that one. That's going to come into play actually, well, now. So, well, not yet actually. So first thing we want to do, right now it doesn't matter which way we orient this. We just need to put it in, and basically it might be a little bit challenging. Oh, there we go. That went in pretty easy. Sometimes it can be hard because that O-ring pushes out that lower bushing, right? So now what we want to do is expose the pins. Let's put the pins in their seats. Okay. Now this, I put the lines upwards, not that it really matters. Now, again, these 2 are the front. This one on its own is the back. The letter is in the back. Hold the pins and jiggle it until they all go in. Okay. We need to sink in these bushings. Really dumb idea the way they designed this, right? Technically, they have a tool that makes it real easy, okay? But you don't need to spend the money for this tool. You can literally do it with a soft jaw as well. What you do is you take your fork, softer the jaw, the better, right? Make sure the hole is pretty similar to the size of the post. Like I said, about 1 1/8 around there. And basically what you're going to do is you're just going to sink it in, literally. That's it. That's all it takes. Nothing more. Well, I could have done a little bit more actually. So at the end of it all, that's all you're doing essentially, is literally just pounding that in. Done. That's what this tool does. And then it literally does the same to the top when we put the thing up there, and boom. Oops. Make sure he's even. Come on, sink in. Wow, why is it not sinking him in? That's the first time that's ever happened. Well, let's try him here. I don't know why that's going on. My eye is burning. All right, so basically, what I'm going to do is put him on here, put him in, and then I'm just literally jamming him down. Oops, sit. And there we go. That's it. Boy, my eye just started burning. And he is sitting, and then we put our, come on. Oh, look at this. That's why that's why I take them off, because sometimes you can make putting this guy on a bit of a pain in the butt. Come on. Okay, be like that. There we go. All right, finish up the bottom. Let's extend it. Clean the shaft of grease. We're going to put it in an 8mm jar. Grab our cap. Screw in their hand first. And then 3.4 Newton meters. Find the edges. Where's the flat spots? They are here. 3.44. Take them out. Now, technically, they do give us a new ball, and if you remember, we scratched that area. In fact, you know what? Well, he sticks in there pretty good. And what you're looking for is the rear of the post. Spin him. And there was the ball. That notch, he's going to go into that notch in the rear of the post. Don't lose him. Okay. There. Can't see too much light. Yep, that should be him right there. Bring him down. Put in the C-clip. All right, there we go. That is in. Bring him all the way up. Screw in our actuator. Technically, hand tight is, good. Hand tight really is more than enough, but if you want to play them safe, just give them a little twist. Don't over tighten this thing at all. Now, if you want, and I consider this totally optional, personally, I say don't even bother. Like I said, this is just if nobody tampers it. Who's going to tamper with this thing? So, put on the pellet. This could be a pain in the butt to get in, actually. All right, let's try and press it in there with a tool. And there we go. So get a hard tool. This tool, that M6 tool actually worked pretty decent, but again, I personally want to do it. Then spray them down. Paper towels. Wipe off all excess grease and oils. Make sure he is clean. And ta-da! And there you have it, folks. You just finished fully servicing a 2017 to 2020 Fox transfer dropper post. This post was always a ridiculous post for people to service at home because of the cost of the tools. It was literally about $800 in tools if you were to buy all of them. And sending it off to Fox would cost you a couple of $100 to service a dropper post. Now, with this video, you should be able to service your own post whenever you want at a fraction of the cost. So, just like all posts, after your first few rides, just make sure you clean your stanchion over here so too much dirt doesn't build up on the grease that comes out and make the wiper's job harder than it needs to be. Everything else, install it and have fun with it. So, guys, if you like this video, please click that like button, man. Click the subscribe button, click the bell button, bing, 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 in order to get notified when new videos get released and more videos are coming. And until then, I hope all is well with all of you, and we will be talking to you soon. Take care. Have a good one.